We're joined this morning by Miss Louisiana, who was Miss Shreveport. Laryssa, say your last name.
It's Bonacquisti.
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 Okay. It's spelled kind of weird, so we want to make sure we get it right.
Wow. Welcome to the show, Laryssa.
Thank you for having me.
Can we call you Laryssa?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so at the moment when you, and I apologize, I didn't watch it. So it's you and how many girls were there on stage when they called out your name?
There were 31 other girls on that stage.
And they called your name, and your reaction was not how you reacted for everybody to see, but what was going through your head?
You know, in that moment, it's just such pure joy and shock and amazement. There really are no words to fully describe it. It's a dream I've had since before I can remember. I mean, my mom was a part of this organization. She competed in a different state and won Miss New Jersey in 1990, but to be able to follow in her footsteps and be able to actually achieve this tremendous accomplishment among 31 of Louisiana's most absolutely incredible, talented, and intelligent young women was something beyond any feeling that I could ever describe.
I think it's a possibility that a lot of folks don't know the time and effort and work and rehearsal and the things not only that you gave up, but most likely that your family gave up to support you in this quest. At what point in all of the celebration did you feel like it's all been worth it?
Oh, from the very beginning. I mean, like you said, it is a lot to prepare for this. This is a year-round preparation. It's not just you walk on the stage one day and you're in a swimsuit, or you're, for me, performing my ventriloquism as my talent. You know, you don't just magically step up on that stage and do that. And it's not just me, though. It's something that is so incredibly group-oriented. I mean, my dad, he works hard so that I'm able to pay for these things that I do. My mom, she takes me everywhere. I have some incredible directors that have trained me as I go along through this journey. I mean, I've been a part of this organization for as long as I can remember.
What is the charity that you're going to be focusing on during your year? Well,
Children's Miracle Network is the Miss America platform, so I will be working with the Children's Miracle Network alongside my personal platform, which is, I call it Team Charlotte, and it's focusing on fighting pancreatic cancer. I recently lost my grandmother in March, actually, to this terrible disease, and she had lived less than a year after her diagnosis. So for me, watching her fight this fight, it inspired me to continue that fight and push to find some kind of diagnostic technique for this silent killer. That's what I call it. It's horrible.
Ventriloquism. I've been practicing this morning. I know you probably can give me a couple of tips.
Hang on. Before
I know it doesn't translate real well on the radio.
Before you start, you become Erin's ventriloquism consultant. I do have a question about that.
Okay.
You watch a pageant and, okay, so you're younger and you're saying, I need a talent for the pageants. And you could be a pianist, you could be you could be a singer, there's dancing, there's all sorts of things one sees. At what point did you look at your own skill set and say,
and develop Lucky and Lucy?
I think ventriloquism is the avenue for me.
Well, actually, I learned how to be a ventriloquist starting at the age of 6. So, really, my mom was working with a girl who was competing for Miss Texas, and that girl was a pianist for her talent. But she did ventriloquism when she spoke in schools because it's something that relates to people of all ages. One day she looks at me and she says, hey, do you want to learn ventriloquism? And she taught me the basics. I picked it up fairly quickly. So we figured out it was kind of a natural thing for me. And it is something that is so unique. It grasps people's attention, and it not only on the stage, but just throughout the year, whenever I speak in a school, even the adults get excited.
Just as an aside, what's a good ventriloquist dummy cost?
Oh, it really depends. Lucky and Lucy, those two, they're a little bit pricier just because I wanted them specifically for going on stage and performing and competing. But I have a couple other ones that are a little bit less expensive. I've got a duck. He's my favorite. His name is Waddles. Big fat yellow duck.
Pardon me just a second, because we've got just about 90 seconds here.
Oh, okay.
And I'm looking down to the other end of the gopher-shaped table, and Erin is doing she's like doing this overbite thing, and she's kind of doing Bill Clinton face or Billy Crystal white guy dance overbite.
Is there a secret, Laryssa?
And you said the basics of ventriloquism. Could you maybe tell Erin one or two
tricks
against my better instincts, because she's going to be practice. She says, I could teach my coffee cup to talk. I said, I'm not sure that's where you want to go, but if you were to give her a tip or two to get started, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to start working on the alphabet, because there are certain letters that you close your mouth to do, like an M, or even a W, or a B. You know, all of those different letters. It's just practicing saying those without moving your mouth and figuring out how to kind of work them to where you're not actually saying the letter, but it sounds like you're saying the letter.
Laryssa.
My God, I think she's got it.
I'm having trouble with this.
So what? I think we have a ventriloquist in our midst.
What are you? You were Miss Shreveport. Are you?
Yes.
Are you from here?
I actually go to LSU. So I live in Baton Rouge, but I did spend the last month and a half or so living in Shreveport before the competition. And so I really got to know the city itself and got to spend a lot of time there and absolutely love that city. But you don't actually have to be from a specific city in order to compete there.
Well, next time you're in this part, will you come visit us in studio and bring Lucky, Lucy, and give me an in-person lesson?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much for your time, and congratulations.
Thank you.